Most large airports have now effectively become cities and include stores, food, banking, and more. With these increased challenges, how does an airport achieve the same competitive advantage and function as a smarter city? Let's take a look at an airport scenario. At this airport, there are thousands of assets being managed by IBM Maximo Asset Management. On-time, safe arrivals of millions of air travelers a year rely on these assets to be operational. Ticketing, purchasing a snack, using the restroom, boarding the plane, and picking up the baggage on arrival, all of these elements contribute to overall customer satisfaction and can influence which airport becomes the destination of choice for travelers. Now let's meet George, who's traveling through the airport focused on an on-time, safe arrival to optimize his customer satisfaction. He doesn't realize how many times he'll come in contact with Maximo during his time in the airport. IBM Maximo and IBM Cognos work together to provide a comprehensive enterprise asset management solution and enable the airport to be as cost-efficient as possible, with yearly maintenance costs always being reviewed for potential reductions. Let's take a look at two scenarios to see how the airport is maintaining costs, with focus on instrumentation, interconnection, and intelligence, while ensuring that George has the smoothest customer experience possible. Since George's flight arrived during the peak time for arrivals, there's a stream of passengers heading to the restroom. As he approaches the restroom, George remembers hearing about an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in his hometown and is worried about using the restroom. As George proceeds to the sinks, he is pleased to see a recent certification that this restroom has recently been tested to make sure that the water temperatures are in compliance with all regulatory guidance, including testing for Legionnaire disease. Unknown to George, Legionella testing is actually underway on a regular basis. Prior to the peak travel time, the facilities team was testing the water temperature with a Bluetooth-enabled thermometer that's connected to a smartphone. The temperature readings were sent into Maximo to ensure that they're within the set parameters. If not, an alert would have been set off with an automated work order being generated in Maximo to service the sink. This airport takes travelers' health seriously and looks for ways to automate facilities alerts to ensure parameters are met. Maximo is helping them to do this. Now let's look at how analytics can help the maintenance team make the best maintenance decisions possible, not only to ensure happy customers, but also to minimize costs. Now, we find George heading to the baggage carousel. Prior to the arrival of George's flight, the sensors on the baggage carousels and conveyors in the back of the house set off an alert. The conveyor is beginning to run outside of the acceptable speed range and has set off an alert. The alert from the sensor is seen in Maximo, and Maximo generates a work order for the conveyor to be looked at. In this case, the alert went off at the low-end range midday. The maintenance team sees the alert and assesses the best time to service the conveyor to minimize impact to travelers. Reviewing historical data for this sensor in Maximo and analytic data from Cognos, the maintenance team decides on a temporary fix during this peak arrival time, with a complete overhaul or replacement planned for the next lull in flight arrivals. Had the maintenance team done the major overhaul now, George's luggage would have had to be rerouted and/or would have been delayed coming off the plane. As it is, George arrives at the baggage carousel and finds his luggage without delay. He's happy and doesn't even know that there were conveyor issues. With enterprise asset management from IBM Maximo and business analytics from IBM Cognos, the maintenance planner was able to address imminent maintenance needs, so that issues don't become emergencies. IBM software helps airports become smarter, getting George and his fellow air travelers to their destination on time today and encouraging them to travel through this airport again. George completes his customer satisfaction survey, another satisfied air traveler. For more information about IBM Maximo Asset Management and IBM Cognos, please visit our webpage.